This is a Vietnamese soup that you won't find at any restaurant. And soups like this one are a central part of Vietnamese family meals, or cơm gia đình. This Canh Suon Heo or pork rib soup is so comforting and super customizable. Today we're making it with carrots and cauliflower, but my mom typically made it with whatever veggies we got at the food bank that week. This soup is a great way to stretch the dollar and make use of whatever you have on hand. Every bite of this soup takes me right back to my childhood, and I'm excited to share a little piece of me with you. So do me a favor and make sure you like, comment, share, and save this video. Alright y'all, remember to wash your hands. Now the first thing we'll do is prep our pork ribs, and these were on sale for about $3 a pound, but you can use spare ribs, pork neck bones, pork hocks, or whatever you like. And all we have to do is parboil them for about 5 minutes to remove any impurities to ensure that our broth stays nice and clean. Then we'll drain the pork ribs and rinse with cold water and scrub away any lingering debris. And use this time to clean your pot too, and then we'll get 4 quarts of water back into it. Now while the water is coming up to a boil, we'll quickly char our aromatics. So first we'll cut a yellow onion and a 2-inch nub of ginger in half. And then to a dry pan on medium-high heat, we'll char the aromatics for 3 to 5 minutes. And alternatively, if you have an open flame stovetop, charring it over that is even better. Now to the pot, I'm going to add in our clean pork ribs and our charred aromatics. We're going to bring this up to a rolling boil, skim off any impurities that rises to the top, and then we'll reduce the heat to low, cover it with a slight crack, and let this gently simmer for about an hour to an hour and a half. And while that's going, let's prep the rest of our ingredients, starting with 3 large carrots. And we'll just peel them and then cut them into 1 to 1.5 inch pieces. Then I have a head of cauliflower, and we'll just cut them into florets, roughly the same size as the carrots. And you already know, anytime we have cauliflower, we have to pay the cauliflower tax. And we'll pay the carrot tax too, since my boyos love crunchy veggies. Then I have some green onions, and we'll just finely chop that up to use as a garnish later. And if you like this recipe and you want to learn how to make more of your favorite Vietnamese and Asian dishes, make sure you subscribe and turn on your notifications to stay up to date on all my latest posts. Now back to the soup. After an hour and a half, I'm going to remove the onion and ginger. This gives it enough time to impart its flavor, but it also ensures that the onion doesn't have a chance to disintegrate into the soup. And one of the biggest hallmarks of Vietnamese soups is how light and clean it is, so taking this step is crucial in achieving that. Now to the pot, we're going to add in our carrots and let that continue to simmer until they're tender. And depending on what types of vegetables you use in your soup, it's important to add the veggies in layers as they all have different cooking times. With carrots or beets, since they're a little bit hardier, it'll take around 10 to 15 minutes to soften. If you use potatoes, I'd add them in after so they don't fall apart. And then for other vegetables like broccoli, zucchini, or cabbage, I'd add them right at the very end so that they don't turn mushy. Once your carrots are tender, we'll season the broth with a nub of rock sugar, a tablespoon of MSG, and 3 tablespoons of my dear mom fish sauce. Now with any of my recipes, I want you to use it as a foundation and then adjust the seasonings to taste to better fit your own palate and preferences. Now right at the very end, go ahead and add your cauliflower. We'll let that simmer for just a couple of minutes. And before we get into plating, I just want to say that this soup stores in the fridge really well, but my personal recommendation is to store the vegetables separately from the soup, as this will help them hold onto its shape better and prevents them from disintegrating into the soup, especially the cauliflower. And with that done, it's time to plate. Now you can serve the soup directly over a bowl of rice or with the rice on the side. So we'll just ladle some of the soup into a bowl, making sure to get a little bit of everything. We'll garnish the bowl simply with some green onions and some fresh ground black pepper. And just like that, you've made an incredible and authentic Canh Suon Heo at home. As always, the recipe and measurements are on my blog at feedthepudge.com. And if you've made it this far, let me know in the comments section, what's a soup or dish that brings you back to your childhood? Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoy. This takes me back to my childhood. It's so comforting. This is really good. I hope you guys try this one.